What is a central processing unit? The central processing unit, or CPU, is the mind of the PC. It's liable for executing the guidelines given by programming programs and controlling different parts of the PC. The CPU performs different activities like math, input results, and control tasks. The parts of the CPU normally incorporates the control unit, the math and rationale unit, and the reserve memory. The control unit deals with the execution of direction and speaks with different parts of the PC. The number crunching and rationale unit performs math activities like expansions, deductions, and duplications, as well as coherent tasks like contrasting qualities. The reserve memory stores much of the time involved information for quicker access by the CPU. The exhibition of a PC relies intensely upon the presentation of its computer processor. A quicker and more effective computer chip can perform more tasks in a more limited measure time, bringing about better execution. There are a few sorts of computer chips and various models. Central processor has benchmarks and correlations that could assist with figuring out which computer chips is the best fit for undertaking and applications. Parts of the central processing unit. One of the primary parts of the CPU is the control unit, which is liable for dealing with the execution and directions inside the processor. Another significant part is the arithmetic logic unit, which is answerable for performing math and sensible activities. Furthermore, the CPU incorporates a few degrees of reserve memory, which assists with accelerating central processor, store much of the time utilized information and directions. The clock speed is likewise a vital part of the computer chip, which is estimated in gigahertz and decides how quick the processor can perform tasks. How does a CPU work? A central processing unit is the essential part that processes direction and performs estimations in a PC framework. It works by getting input from programming, performing computation and rationale procedures on the information, and afterwards sending yield back to the product or different parts in the framework. The central processing unit is composed of a few unique parts, as mentioned, including the control unit, the rationale unit, and the registries. The control unit is liable for planning the progression of information and direction inside the CPU, while the number juggling rationale unit performs numeral activities and rationale capabilities. At the point when a PC program runs, the CPU recovers the guidelines and information from memory and executes each in turn. It utilizes the control unit to deal with the succession of directions and math rationale unit to play out the vital computation and rationale activities. The central processing unit likewise assumes a pivotal part in deciding a PC's general presentation. Factors like clock speed, store size, and quantity of centers can all affect how rapidly a computer chip can deal with information and execute guidelines. The job of the CPU and PC execution. Its principal job is to execute guidelines and cycle information. The speed and effectiveness of a central processing unit is urgent for a PC's general exhibition. At the point when you can open the application or play out any undertaking on your PC, it sends solicitation to the CPU to execute the expected direction. The CPU then gets the information from the memory and cycle it to play out the mentioned task. The more perplexing the errand, the more the CPU needs to work. A strong CPU is fundamental for running complex applications like video editing, gaming, or programming. Without a strong CPU, these applications will run sluggish and drowsy. The central processing unit assumes a critical part in performing multiple tasks, and it empowers your PC to play out numerous undertakings simultaneously. As CPUs have become all the more remarkable and effective throughout the long term, they have likewise become more costly. That is the reason picking the right CPU that suits your needs is significant. CPU benchmarks and examinations are fundamental devices in deciding the exhibition and effectiveness of a CPU. Two types of CPUs. Two of the most well-known computer processor producers are Intel and AMD. Intel computer processors are known for major areas and strength for center execution, making them appropriate for errands that require high clock speeds like gaming. Then again, AMD computer processors are known for their multi-central execution and are much of the time lent towards by happy makers and experts who depend on errands that can profit from various centers like video editing and 3D delivering. Inside every maker setup, there are various models and ages of central processors to consider. These models differ as far as clock speed, center count, reserve size, and power utilization. It's critical to pick a CPU that matches your particular requirements and spending plan. While contrasting CPUs is generally expected to run over benchmarks, which give execution measurements to various central processors under ambiguous circumstances. These benchmarks can assist you with measuring how well a computer processor acts in contrast with others and can direct you in pursuing an educated choice. Nonetheless, it's important that benchmarks may not necessarily precisely reflect genuine execution, as execution can change contingent upon the particular programming and errands being executed. CPU benchmarks and examinations. With regards to picking a computer processor, benchmarks and examinations can assist you when pursuing an educated choice. Benchmarks are tests that actions the presentation of a central processor by reenacting true situations. They can test a computer processing handling power, memory data transmission, and other key execution pointers. Some well-known computer processor benchmark incorporates Geekbench, CentBench, and PassMark. These benchmarks give scores that can be utilized to think about computer chips from various producers and ages. While looking at computer processors, it's essential to consider their clock speed, center count, and reserve size. A CPU with a higher clock speed can perform more estimation each second, while a CPU with an additional center can deal with additional errands at the same time. Reserve size alludes to how much memory accessible on the central processor itself, which can assist with accelerating specific tasks. It's additionally critical to consider the sort of CPU you really want. Intel and AMD are the two primary central processor producers, and they each deal with a scope of computer chips for various use cases. For instance, the Intel Core i7 CPU are perfect for gaming and content creation, while the AMD Ryzen CPU offer more center for performing various tasks and efficiency. CPU benchmarks and examinations can assist you with picking the right processor for requirements and guarantee that you're getting the best presentation for your spending plans. If you like this video, please click the like button below. Also, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for your time, and God bless.